So I got this old scooter here, and today I'm gonna get it running. Okay, this is my Elite. We got it up on the bench here, and the problem today is it has a no start issue. So I'll show you what I mean. Set that, control. I know there's no throttle cable hooked up. I was already kind of messing with it. But for some reason, I'll clean the carb, it'll start and be fine. Then any amount of time you let it sit, it will not start. So we're gonna start with the basics and figure out why it's not starting. So first off, let's check. Let's see if we have fuel. And we do. A little bit of rust in the tank. Let's check and see if we have fuel in the bowl. Okay, I should be able to crack this screw and fuel should come out of that hose there. Let's see what happens. Yep, I can see it coming down. So we have fuel in the bowl. So we got fuel in the bowl. We got fuel coming down from the tank here. The only thing it could be is a spark issue or a clogged jet or loss of compression, but I'm pretty sure it's got compression. So let's check this plug and go from there. Our spark plug doesn't look that bad. It's got a little moisture on it, but that's what we want to see. That's why we got it open. Just turn it over. How does that look? Does that look like there's stuff coming out? Not particularly. We have compression and a little bit of oil, so that's good. So let's check for spark. Let's take our plug, ground it on a bolt. Okay, so we're going to ground this spark plug on the bolt and see what happens. And there is plenty of spark. So now we have either a compression or a fuel issue, but let's pop this open and see what's going on inside. Now to get this carb off, it's actually a little tricky to access the two screws. They're 10 mils. And one of them, we're going to pull that fuel line off. Get the one guy here. The other guy is way back here and very hard to access. There's one and two. Now I suspect our culprit is a clogged slow jet or idle jet that'll be in here. And to be honest, I've kind of messed with this before and I know the issue. I went ahead and ordered new jets for it, but I want to see if we can just get this going and ride it around today. But the issue is this thing has a very, very tiny idle jet. Like it's the size of one single wire. And I think rust is coming through the tank and the little deposits are just enough to clog this little jet. And I'll show you just how tiny this hole is. Jesus. Yeah, I've already cleaned this jet out before and it's already clogged again. Like you can't see any light through there. But you can see light through the little, focus. Side holes are clean, but the actual hole through here is clogged. So I'm gonna get some wire, try and blast that out with some air and some carb cleaner. Hopefully that'll fix it. Okay, to give you an idea on how small this jet internals really are, the only thing I have that'll fit is this little piece of wire that won't focus. But this wire is actually a bristle from this wire brush. So one single one of these little guys is all that I have that'll fit. But let's slide her in and clean it out. Got a little carb cleaner here that will also help. I might actually let this jet soak because this carb cleaner is eating my gloves, and still we don't have a hole. Even if I take some really highly compressed air and try and blow it through the system, cover your ears. We have a little hole now. Damn it. Oh no. You can barely see a little hole through there. But it is microscopic. And I think my best bet is to let this jet actually sit in some solution for a period of time and let it kind of eat whatever's in there out. So I got this paint cap. I'm going to put that in there, fill this with fluid. That's fully submerged, so we'll let that sit for a little bit, and hopefully in 20-30 minutes that'll be good to go. But while that is sitting and soaking, let's go ahead and clean the rest of the carb. This guy, just double check everything. And to prevent, keep that guy there. You can see through, if it'll focus, you can see the light through it. Also, all the side jets are clean. So I know this guy's good to go, but I'm still gonna just blast it a little bit with this stuff just to kind of clean it up. There's some tarnish on there that might come back to haunt me. Bottom of our bowl's pretty clean, but just to be safe, spray some of that out. And then I know everything in here is clean because I cleaned it last night. This little guy was clogged last night, but I cleaned him out as well. I mean, that is a clean carburetor. The only thing that can be preventing this from running is if this O-ring isn't making a good seal and it's allowing too much air and not enough fuel in. Or if the choke, the electronic choke, this guy is bad, maybe it's not allowing it in. But I think debris is coming in from this fuel line, from this little bit rusted tank. So I'm going to cut this, put an inline fuel filter in, and then we can moderate the fuel quality coming through here, and hopefully this thing will fire up. Okay, so the plan is to put this guy kind of in line next to this fuel inlet pipe, so somewhere right in here. Should work. So our flow arrow is that way, so we'll put this going down. Kind of want to put this heat shield back on the fuel line just to give it whatever protection we can. And then shove this guy. That's no way that's gonna fit. That's way too big. That sucks. Okay, we'll go back to the store and get a smaller one. Still allow that jet to soak, but damn it. So I went ahead and threw everything in my parts washer while I run to the store and get a replacement fuel filter. But while I'm here, so you can see up inside just how clean it is in there. It looks fantastic. So I think our issue is just outside here with this carburetor. Hopefully that's soaking, and then a new inline fuel filter to combat the little rust spots that are developing. I think each one of those little flakes is what's going down the line and clogging that very small jet. So we'll let that soak for 30 minutes, go get another one of those, and we'll be back. So we have our jet out of the ultrasonic cleaner. It's just a regular size 40 idle jet. Now we can see through and see just how small that hole is. Itty bitty little guy. But every one of these is super clean now. So I'm hoping it'll start. But I did mess up because I cut this fuel line for a fuel filter, and they don't have a small enough fuel filter for this size fuel line. So I'm going to take this, which is a grease gun adapter, and just temporarily stab it in here and stab it in here to join these two back together until I get new fuel line that'll arrive in a few days. Okay, we got the carb back on, we got fuel in the bowl, no throttle cable because I just manually work it. Let's see if she will start. That makes no sense. Help it out a bit. Why? Well, this is what it does. I have no idea why it will only run for a split second on starter fluid. Maybe this has something to help with. Just throw that on and see if that helps. Doesn't sound very healthy, but it's running. What an upgrade! Okay, interesting. So that's the best it's done in a long time. So it seems it requires back pressure to run. So let's go ahead and install all of this. Okay, while that was charging, I went ahead and changed the oil. And you can hear it's kind of surging. I think my O-ring in this screw adjustment here is no good. So this is the idle air screw, if I'm correct, or idle air adjustment, I don't know. Trying to find a sweet spot where it's happy. Right there is good. And now is the appropriate time to put it back together, take it for a test ride, and see how she does. So I have been messing with this for a long time, and I can't get it to dial in. But I think if I spray right in front of the carb, there's an air leak. I think when I rev it up, it's running lean, which is the problem, is because while it's sucking in air. So it's crazy if I do it back here. I don't know where all this extra air is coming from. There's definitely an air leak somewhere, so now I gotta figure out where. Okay, I found the leak. It's actually this hose here, which goes to the petcock and tells it when the vacuum draws in fuel. Oh, there's another one somewhere. I wonder if my intake manifold's cracked. Very well could be an issue.